during our previous webinars. Welcome back. And this is CLIQ company. My name is Olga. And for those who have just joined us right now for the third webinar, so today is our third webinar already. Nice to meet you guys. Join us. So today our topic is actually every webinar has very important topics, but today maybe the most essential topic because it's entry points, how to start your trading, how this first push on the button, sell or buy. It's a very thrilling moment because at the previous webinar I have explained to you how to use MetaTrader 4. So this is not a bunch of unknown icons for you anymore. You know how they operate, how to use them, which icons to click, what information they give. So you are like a ready-made trader. And the next step is maybe to find an entry point, how to enter this market, which brings you a lot of money and profit in the end. And during our webinar, you will find out how to determine or define the entry point, which information is essential. So to which information we should pay most of our attention. Which elements are most important, we have to think about them before we start trading. And of course, we will find how to open a trade on our terminal. We'll show you how to do that. And how to use time zones, because we live in different parts of the world, so we live in different time zones. And what are the trading sessions, how to use them for our benefits. So everything you find out during this webinar. So stay with us. And again, this is Olga and CLIQ company. So let's start. So as I told you, the most important thing is entry point. Why? Don't get me wrong, other parameters are also important, but actually they all depend on entry point. How much money we are going to earn, we define according to the entry point. Which risk to take, we define according to the entry point. What other elements to use according to our entry point. So everything goes around the entry point. So this is the most essential thing, and we will find out how to define it. So your goal is to define, as a trader, to define the entry point. And there are some trading elements that we regard or examine according to this parameter. And now let's take a look at the parameters due to which a trader actually is forming the entry point. As a rule, there are three main elements: time frames, yes, trading sessions. Can be trading sessions refer to the parameter different trade zones or time zones, and of course styles of trading, because every trader has its own style of trading. All these parameters concern and refer to the entry point. Let's examine each of them. So let's start from the time frames. Okay, time frames. The main feature of the time frame is actually you can find an entry point on any of it. So you can use any time frame if you like it. But remember the fact that the bigger time frame, the bigger risk you're facing. And what comes to the practice actually, as a rule, we give variations of entry points on our education course because it's like very extensive topic. And of course today I'm going to share some small bit of information with you. First, a trader analyzing the market pays attention to the determination of the strong zone or the big market player or the strong price. So you first need to understand where this big market player is located. Find it. And then he decides whether he's going to stay on the bigger time frame, because actually to define a big market player, you need to go to the bigger time frame. It's more obvious. Or you're going to actually move to different time frame, smaller time frame, and make your trade there. So first you need to understand what are you going to do. So and according to this, there are 3 variants of defining entry points. Let me check, please. So this is the first element. You go to a daily or bigger time frame. Of course, remember the bigger time frames are weekly and monthly. So let's talk about daily. Let it be our point where we stop. Okay, so you go to daily time frame and you try to understand, analyze in the market where the big player is, at the strong price or strong zone. Then you move to another time frame. A little small, much smaller, it depends on your liking. So for example, you go to M30, as you can see on this slide. Then here you need a confirmation that your signal is right, is correct. So also you're looking at the market, you understand, oh, here it is. This is exact point where the strong price is. So I was correct. And only there you can open your trade. This was the variant number 1. Variant number 2, the same procedure. You go to a daily or bigger time frame, and then you observe the market and you see, here it is, the big market player is located here, or the strong price is already here. Well, now you need to move to different time frame. For example, you move to M30. Look at the slide. For example, you look at M30. So you take 30 minutes time frame. And you look for the confirmation. Oh, okay, I was right. So the big market player is here. But then you need another movement. So you move to a smaller time frame, for example, M15. And only there you receive the confirmation that your signal is right. So actually you have 2 confirmation signals. And only there on M30 you open your position. That was variant number 2. What comes to the variant number 3? Okay, so you'll start from daily time frame in bigger. And actually, variant number 3 is characterized by the fact that it's used not only for analyzing the market and defining the big market player and strong market price, but also for the opening your position. So you don't have to move anywhere else. You just stay on this time frame. You regard your signal. You understand that market player, big market player is here, and you open your position. So these are 3 variants of defining entry point. It's like resume, according to different time frames. Let's move on. Now we'll talk about how to define entry point due to the trading elements. There are some variants of elements helping us to define the entry point. Give me a second, please. I will check if the system is working correctly. And good. So the next variant of defining an entry point is trading session. As I told you before, they are connected with the different time zones. And you need to understand that. For example, I'm staying here, you're staying over there, and we have a lot of clients who actually trade from different parts of the world. So we have different timing. And to make the process of trading easier, it was decided to actually divide all the process of trading, all the traders, into special trading sessions. Actually, there are 4 of them, and the most important are 3 of them. So we have Pacific session, Asian session, European session, and American session. These sessions are combined with the parts of the world. So actually they are called like that according to their territorial location. Not only because of that, because of the stock exchange and the cities in which they are operating. And stock exchange, they have like ordinary working hours, like ordinary people like you and me. They're 8 hours. So they open at 8 o'clock in the morning in their cities. And as the sun goes on and the day goes on from every part of the world to another, so they open one by one. So making the process of trading like non-stop. So that's why Forex market is called the most liquid market in the world, because actually every 24 hours, 5 days a week, everything is going on this market. So, while you're sleeping, somebody is trading and making money, and on the contrary. So, what is the interest of the trader in this trading session? Of course, if you live in Asia, it's better to use your Asian session. You live in America, use your American session. You live in Europe, use European session. What about the Pacific? Actually, it's not so commonly known session because the market during this session is very slow, not active. So, but talking about Asian, this is actually the first from the main trading session that starts the operating day, that starts the trading. So they first make money. And if we are talking about European, the most commonly known and widely spread American sessions, of course they are very, very active. And as we know some slang words already, they are liquid or volatile. Market during these sessions is liquid and volatile. So what does it give us? More money, of course. So this is very important parameter. As I told you, every trading session is represented by a city and the stock exchange. For example, Asian session is represented by Tokyo, Hong Kong, and Singapore. And now you can see the timing of its opening. So actually, for people who live in Europe, it's not very convenient time of this session. Sorry, but you have to trade at night if you want to use these trading session, these currency pairs. European session is represented by Frankfurt, Zurich, Paris, and London. So as you can see, this session starts early in the morning, and actually it works till the afternoon, which makes it very popular among the traders. American session is represented by New York and Chicago, the most important powerhouses and stock exchanges. And it starts in the afternoon and closes in the evening. So people who work, actually, this trading session is also very important, very popular. Of course, if you live according to your GMT time. But if you live in UAE, your timing is different. And Pacific session is represented by Wellington and Sydney. You see how short it's, actually it's not short, 8 hours, but it starts in the late hours. And as I told you, the market is not so volatile, so it's not active. That's why it's not so popular. Okay. Why do we need all this information? All these hours, all these sessions, all these names, titles, cities, and so on? Well, because everything, all the information you can use to your advantage, actually. How? Here on the table, you can see that there are some certain periods of times when there is so-called overlapping. What is it? Actually, it's when the previous session is still working and the other session starts operating. So within a few hours, they're working together. So these overlapping periods are the most active periods in the market. If you are a trader who wants your trades to develop very actively, I highly recommend to use exactly these periods of time, these periods of overlapping some sessions. If you're a trader who is not willing to take a big risk, at least at the beginning, and he wants to trade on a muted market or slow, calm, smooth, please use other periods when there are no overlapping of the different trading sessions. Okay, this is small advice for you. Okay, let's resume. So this was actually the understanding of the concept of the trading and opening your entry points according to different time zones, or, as we came to know, trading sessions. And actually you found out which periods are the most active, so these periods are potentially will give you more money. Okay, let's talk about trading elements which also help us to define entry point. There are certain elements that help us to define entry point, and they depend actually from the time with which we hold our position, or the manner of our trading, is better to say, the manner of the style of our trading. All the process of trading is divided into main five styles. And of course, people who trade during these or according to these 5 styles also divided on the 5 categories. So let's talk about it. So we have 5 styles of trading, and people who use this style of trading are called correspondingly. For example, there are people, traders, we are not talking about all of the people, we are talking about special people who trade Forex or commodity. So we are talking about professionals. There are traders who are called scalpers, and the process of trading is called scalper trading. And this is a process of trading in which position is held just for a few, I can't say it's seconds, for a few minutes. Yeah, sometimes even seconds, because sometimes different during the news factor, you can, I already made it, you can make also during a few seconds, like 50 pips or 100 pips. But of course, it's not. It doesn't happen very often on the market, and you have to know when this situation is coming to a place, or you have to be ready for it. So scalpers, we are talking about traders who doesn't enter the market for a long period of time. So they hold their positions, for example, from a few seconds to a few minutes. The main goal of scalpers is not to take a lot of pips. You understand, for the short period of time, it's not time of news release, you can't make a lot of money. So you can't become a millionaire within 5 seconds. But the main goal of the trader, a scalper, is to open as many trades as possible. And of course, talking about the entry points, because we regard all these parameters according to the entry points, this trader has a lot of them. So, but they of course are situated or located on the smaller time frames. For example, it's from M15, even less, maximum 30. Okay, next category of traders, they're called day traders, and the process of trading is called intraday trading. So the characteristic of this intraday trading is that the position is held within 1 day, and that's why it's called intraday. So the trader, day trader, is staying in the market for 1 day only. And also he uses not so big but middle time frames from M30 to H4. And also the main element that the day trader pays attention is to catch or not to lose the movement. You know, there are some movements, very strong movements that all the traders are expecting from the market. So the day trader is looking for that moment to enter the market and tries not to lose it. He has to be very attentive. They must be on guard, and as soon as the market gives that opportunity, he enters the market. Next type of traders is swing traders, and the category of trading, the process of trading, is called simply swing trading. The most respectful, I would like to say, and favorites way of trading beyond the traders. Why? Actually, because the main goal of the swing trader is to take the maximum profit. Actually, to catch all the profit that market gives him from its minimum to its maximum. And trading, staying in the market, he can stay in the market for one day or even more. So it's more prolonged period of trading. And but there are some weak points, because the trader not necessarily knows how much profit he will get in the end, how many pips the market will give him in the end. Because though we are analyzing or trying to do our best to analyze the market using different factors, like using different analysis, like fundamental, technical, mathematician, all that is possible. The market is unpredictable sometimes, especially during the news release. So this is the period of time, certain period of time. Every trader knows this period of time, and he's ready for it when the news are very, very active. For example, talking about profit, about swing traders, what can we mention? He can make, for example, from 60 points to 100, but during the news release, it can be from 150 to 200. So why this is so popular? Actually, because the traders try to get as much as possible, and actually that's why sometimes traders use robots exactly in this process of trading. Why? Not to lose a signal, because it's very important to catch it from the minimum to its maximum, to take all of it. Because if you're late a little bit and market moves on, of course you will get your profit, but it would be much smaller. Now that's why we use robots, because they take signal automatically. They don't sleep. They don't spend time with their families, or they don't work, or they don't make business. So this is very important, exactly in this type of process of trading. Next category, they are called middle-term traders, and middle-term trading corresponding the process of trading here. Middle-term trader stays in the market for a few days and even more, maybe for a week, and he uses middle time frames like H4 and bigger, and considering the entry points. Actually, he is looking at entry points on the peaks of the trend. And for example, if his style of trading is following the trend, he's looking for the entry point in the minimum. And if his style of trading is contra trend, of course he is looking for the reversal peak, and only then he enters the market. So there are a lot of details. I don't want to get deep down in them, because actually it's not the topic of our webinar. But of course we explain all these details and make sure that they serve you right. The last category of traders and the process of trading is called investors. And investment trading. Actually, these people have the strongest nerves because they're staying in the market for a very long period of time. Sometimes it's from 1 week to a few months. And regarding this type of trading, I need to mention that investors have to be ready for the market to turn during the whole process of trading. The market will turn against them. It will always happen, and actually it happens always. But maybe if you're a scalper, you don't face for it. Just enter the market and exit the market. But investors, they will face it for sure, 100%. And their deposits have to be strong enough to survive this process. And in the end, when the market comes back to the previous direction in which the investor trader opened the position, what can I say? The profit can be colossal. So let's resume. We define our entry points according to the category of the process of trading and according to the category of a trader which we are. So we have to decide which process of trading is most suitable for you and convenient for you. And you can call yourself a trader for a scalper, for example, a scalper, day trade, a swing trade. Everybody will understand what you're doing and actually how much money you are earning. So this is it. So we all know its secrets. Next. Okay, let's talk about the variants or the types of opening the position. Okay, so we defined our entry point. There are a lot of categories, they're vast, extensive, and now we know for sure how to do it. Next, what you should do. There are some variants of opening the position. And for example, actually there are two of them. Terminal provides you with two ways of opening the position. First, it's manually. What I mean? Actually, talking about variants of opening the position, everyone chooses the variant according to the time dedicated to the trading. So you need to set the time which you spend for defining the position and actually the trading process. And when you did it, you need to understand that. For example, if you enter the market and define, and you know for sure that there will be entry points, the best variant for you to open a position, to open a trade, it's manually or on the market. So what you do, you enter the market, and this variant is the most suitable for those who wants to take the total control of the market. You define the entry point, you just open the position. Let's look how it's done. For example, you entered the market. This is terminal, it's not the news for you. And you click this new order button and you see there is market execution. I'm showing it right now with my cursor. So there are two icons, sell and buy. And it depends in which direction you would like to open the position. So if you want to open sell, you click sell. If you want to open buy, you want to buy some currency, you click buy. So this is the simplest way you open the position manually. But a different type of opening the position is pending orders. What are these pending orders? Actually, let me check, please. These are special orders which help you to open the position when you are not present in front of your computer. I will show in the terminal how to find these pending orders. There are different types of pending orders. They depend, it's very easy to remember, they depend on the current price. For example, some of them open when the current price is higher, and some of them open when the current price is lower. So this pending order you can find in the type here, pending order. There are different types of pending orders: buy limit, by sell limit, and sell stop and buy stop. You set the certain price at which your trade will be opened, even if you are not in front of your computer. Also, by setting this price, you can set stop loss and take profit. You have already known these orders. I explained it. For those who actually joined us only now, I will explain stop loss. This is the minimization of your risk. So this is the order at which actually the terminal, the program, will close your transaction if the risk is too high for you. You can't afford it. So you set exact price at which your transaction will close. Else, take profit. This is also an order which helps you to close your position when you are not in front of your computer, or when the profit is maximum that you are expecting. Some traders suggest always set up stop loss. Some of them say never set stop loss. Actually, it depends on the chosen style of your trading, of lots of factors, of risk management, and a lot of things that actually based on the laws of the market. So I highly recommend to consult somebody who will explain to you how important it is and which risk you might face if you set stop loss or you open your position without setting it. What about take profit? It's not necessarily to set it, because you can close your transaction manually. You come to the computer at a certain period of time, we will talk about it later, and you close your transaction manually. Let's move on. And as I mentioned, there are only two variants that are provided with the terminal for opening their positions. But also, CLIQ company gives you another chance and another opportunity, another way of opening transaction position. Actually, you can do it with the help of expert advisors or robots. As I told you, some traders use robots more than the others, because actually it's very convenient for them to use them. And expert advisors open your positions automatically, so you don't have to be present in front of your computer. You can continue doing what you were doing. I like this example: spending time with your family. Actually, this is what actually busy people lack very, very lots, and that's why it's maybe very essential. Oh, maybe I'm a girl, so it's important for me. But nevertheless, robots can help you in this way. So they close, they open, they close the positions automatically. So this is the third variant, the third type of opening the position. Actually, I thought I would spend more time with you explaining all these details, but we move very fast. And actually coming to an end, we will look through the criteria of the entry point definition. So it's like a resume of everything that I have already mentioned, but some little specific details, so allow me to give them to you. So every trader defines for himself how he is going to define entry points. So I gave you lots of criteria and parameters and elements to use it. Actually, it's better to use all of them. And also, let's talk about the criteria of defining entry points, and the whole process of trading. So we will talk about the whole process of trading more. Okay, first element, first criteria, it's time. You need to understand that you live in a certain part of the world, and you lead a certain way of life. So you need to choose for yourself time, the best time for you, the most convenient time for you for trading. Is it going to be afternoon hours, or in the morning, or is it going to be night hours? This is the first. When am I going to trade? Next criteria is market speed. It's very important. So you have to choose for yourself what market speed is suitable for you. Would you like to trade when the market is active, or is a little bit muted? Would you like what works best with your personality? The high volatility, the high liquidity, or slow movement? And according to this, you choose above mentioned trading sessions. So you remember well that there are certain periods of time the market is the most active. So if you choose high volatility or liquidity, please enjoy yourself and indulge yourself in these periods of time. Next, the choice of the final time frame. So definitely you should choose how long you're going to hold your position. And this is very serious. I insist on it. It's very serious psychological moment. It must be comfortable to you, because sometimes if you choose to be investor, you are going to wait until the execution of your position for a few months, and this time must be comfortable for you. So you must be ready for it. And actually, it depends on how many times you're going to come to the computer and check the market. Because, for example, if you trade on small time frames, like in 30, it means that you have to come to the computer every 30 minutes to take a signal. And if you trade each hour time frame, 4 hours time frame, you have to check the market every 4 hours. And actually, it depends on how much money you're going to earn trading Forex or commodity. I didn't mention it because scalpers also, they have lots of money, because if you remember, it doesn't depend on how long you're staying in the market. Sometimes you stay for a few minutes, but you earn a lot of money because you know how to do it and when to do it. But actually, the most profitable accounts have people that are called investors. Okay, but don't take it personally, please. You can be any type of trader as you wish. Next criteria, holding the position. Maybe I have already mentioned it before, but I will say that it must be comfortable for you. I already mentioned it before, the choice of a final time frame. So holding your position is also a psychological factor, because the time of waiting for the execution of your position of your trade must be comfortable for you. So decide for yourself, how long are you going to take your position, to hold your position? How long are you going to stay in the market? For a few minutes, for a few hours, for a few days, for a few months? Okay, and the last element, the last criteria is very important. These are precise elements. Precise elements confirming your entry point. You can see it, but you need some elements to confirm it. And it's not necessarily you're guessing. For example, I guess that the market will go this way. No, this is the best entry point for me. Yeah. No, actually, there are a lot of factors that we take into account. I have already mentioned fundamentals, technicals, mathematical analysis that we are using. But definitely it's not the topic of our webinar right now. And there are some special formations and there are some principles which are based on the laws of the market. I have already mentioned it. I meant it to mention these laws of the market, but actually in the process of trading, this element is very important. And of course, we can teach you everything that I have mentioned before, because we have special, like education courses dedicated to each item which you are going to face and which you are going to use to make your profit, bigger, or to make your trading profitable. If you go to our site, you will see different types of webinars, and there are actually 3 of them, and you can receive even one free of charge, on which we will introduce some basic concepts. Because learning to trade Forex, it's like learning to make a new business, and it's like learning a new language. To make it easier for you, you need to understand it, to have a certain vocabulary, and to understand the basic ideas and concepts. That's why actually these basic notions and concepts are very important. Briefly, I have mentioned lots of them. If you were very attentive during the webinars, I think the situation is more clear enough for you. Nevertheless, if you want to be Forex trading or commodity trading professional and bring you lots of money, you have to be more advanced. And with different types of our education courses, you can advance your knowledge. You can start from the beginner and you can move on. Actually, this is, I think, all that I wanted to mention. And this is our location for those who want to come to us and see us in our office. Take a look at it. And thank you for your attention. Thank you guys for staying with us. And thank you for your comments. And I would like to remind you, if you have some questions, you can write them in your comments. You can see us on Facebook, you can see us on YouTube. And this is CLIQ company, and I wish you the best of luck in everything that you do, and especially I wish you best of luck in the process of trading or learning how to trade Forex professionally. Have a nice day. Bye bye.